Hey everyone, my name is Veronica, 27 female, and I'm just sharing a piece of my story because it's so crazy. So picture this. I moved from the sunny vibes of Greece to the bustling streets of the US. New York City to be specific, chasing that American dream everyone keeps talking about. Now, you might wonder why I'd leave the beautiful beaches and olive groves, but life's an adventure, right? I knew that I had to spread my wings, and things weren't going so great for me back home, so why not move to the land of the free to get a slice of that American dream? I met Leon at the airport, and let me tell you, it was the most unexpected romance of my life. Life does have its way of surprising you, I guess. He caught my eye, and we started chatting a bit, and we were really hitting it off. Turns out we were both discovering this new country, and I leaned on him quite a bit to guide me through the ropes of American life, because he had a bit more experience than I did. We started as friends, of course, exploring the city together, trying out those famous New York hot dogs and laughing at the quirks of American culture. Soon, though, that friendship turned into something more. Leon was different, and he always said the sweetest things. I don't know what it was about you, but I just can't stop thinking about you. You truly are a special girl, Veronica, and one day I'll make you my wife. He talked about introducing me to the two most important women in his life, his mom, Ramona, and his sister, Julia. Now, that's where the twist comes in. Meeting the family is usually a big step, right? Well, I was pumped to make a good first impression. I thought we'd be one big happy family and I'd be living the dream. But reality had other plans. When Julia and Ramona finally landed on US soil, the warm welcomes I imagined turned into icy and cold stares. They made it clear they thought I wasn't good enough for Leon. Okay, I get it. Protectiveness is normal, but this was on a whole new level. Mama, siostra, this is Veronica. She's my wonderful girlfriend. Hi, nice to meet you both. Quite an interesting choice you've made, Leon. Definitely not what we expected. Come on, Mom. Julia, give her a chance. Greek, right? How fancy. Never thought I'd see the day you'd go for someone like her. Let's not make this about where she's from. That doesn't matter. I love her, and you will too if you give her a chance. Really? It's so lovely to finally meet you. I've been looking at different spas we could go to, really get to know each other better. Oh, you'll love this place I found on 1227 Broadway. You'll love it, I'm sure. What makes you think that we would want to do that with you? Oh, well, I just thought that maybe we could hang out and get to know each other a bit better. What makes you think you're good enough for my son? Then Leon said something in Polish, probably telling her to back off, but she just responded with something that sounded rude, honestly. I'm glad I didn't hear what she said. You're a designer, right? What does that even mean? I design fashion, clothing, accessories, things like that. Artsy stuff, Leon. Is this the life you really want? Yes, Mom. Veronica's talented and makes me happy. That's all that matters. This is just unexpected. I'm not here to meet expectations. I'm here because I care about Leon. We'll see about that. No matter how hard I tried to win them over, it was like I was speaking a different language. They would criticize me, and if they weren't criticizing me, they were just flat out insulting me, and I was left feeling like an outsider in my own relationship. It sucked. Despite Ramona and Julia's disapproval, Leon and I were focused on trying to make things work. We found a small apartment to move into together, hoping that taking this step would somehow help the strained relationship with my mother-in-law and sister-in-law by showing them that we were serious about making this work. Moving in together came with its own challenges, of course. We were navigating through furniture shopping, setting up our new space, and adjusting to each other's habits. It was both exciting and nerve-wracking. But we made sure to love each other throughout it all. Then one day, Leon and I got some interesting news. I was pregnant. Yep, you heard that right. I was pregnant with Leon's baby. We were over the moon. Leon started going crazy. This is amazing. I'm so happy. We need to baby-proof everything, and we need to get those parenting books. Calm down, my love. We'll get to all of that. Don't worry. I'm going to make you the happiest wife and mother this world has ever seen. Just you wait. Leon and I were navigating this new chapter, excited about our growing family, even though we weren't married. Leon, in particular, was determined to provide and make our lives secure. He wanted us to get married ASAP, and I was also excited for this next chapter in our lives. His enthusiasm was contagious, and we were looking forward to sharing the news with his mom and sister. Breaking the news, however, didn't go as planned. Ramona's reaction was explosive, to say the least. What sort of whore gets pregnant without a ring on her finger? Are you trying to shame us and our family? What? I didn't think that it was a big deal. You're disgusting. Guys, enough. We don't care about that stuff. You should be happy for us. It struck me as wildly unfair, especially given that Leon was equally involved in the baby-making process. But I mean, misogyny is a thing, so wasn't too surprised. It seemed tradition held a special place in Ramona's heart, and our unconventional approach was a huge offense in her eyes. We spent the rest of the afternoon arguing, and instead of going home happy with some gifts and some praise, Leon and I were silent in the car ride home because of how sad and angry we were. I couldn't help but wonder if our relationship with Ramona and Julia could ever recover from such a huge disagreement. Leon and I hustled to tie the knot swiftly. No grand ceremony, just a quick visit to the marriage court, signatures on documents, and appreciating our marital paradise. Leon promised a proper celebration down the road, and I was cool with that because, hey, I was officially married to the man of my dreams. Our simple joy, however, wasn't enough to make Ramona and Julia happy. Their disapproval remained, but I was reaching a point where their opinions mattered less and less. My focus shifted to maintaining a healthy pregnancy and blocking out the noise of their negativity. Screw those guys. 3 months had gone by, and my belly started growing more and more. I was sitting in my living room working on some designs when Julia paid an unexpected visit. I wasn't prepared for what she was about to ask. Oh, I wasn't expecting you. Leon isn't home right now. I'm not here for Leon. I'm here for you. Oh, okay. Well, come on in. Ugh, I hate that I even have to come and ask you for this, but as you can see, I'm desperate. What's going on? Well, my wedding is coming up and I was meant to have a custom-made gown. Unfortunately, my seamstress fell down a flight of stairs or something, and now she can't make my dress. Oh, no, that sounds awful. I know, right? So unprofessional. Right. Anyways, that's why I'm here. I wanted to see if you'd be able to make one for me. Please. Julia's unexpected request hit me like a ton of bricks. She wanted me to design her wedding dress, despite my initial hesitation. I decided to take on the challenge, hoping that this shared project would help build a stronger connection between us. Days turned into a blur of hard work, my focus entirely on creating the perfect gown for Julia according to her wishes. I literally dropped all the other projects I was working on just to focus on this, and it seemed that Julia was slowly warming up to me. 2 weeks of working had gone by when I got a really bad cramp in my stomach. I thought it was just pregnancy stuff, but it felt worse and worse, and then my entire world came crashing down. I had a miscarriage. The news shattered my world, and in a panic I called Leon, telling him to rush home. He found me in the bathroom, and when he saw the look on my face, he immediately looked like he wanted to cry. The hospital visit only made this nightmare reality, and when we got home, Leon and I just cried in each other's arms. A couple of days passed, I'll admit. I wasn't on my phone, nor was I looking on the dress. I mean, how could I? Leon even took a couple of days off work just to process the grief. Me not answering the phone was like World War III, apparently, because one day Ramona stormed through the front door and started yelling, agitated and demanding answers. What is the meaning of this crap? Are you sure you're a designer? You're so unprofessional. Ramona, please, you don't understand what's been going on. Please sit down and we can talk about it. I've been calling you. Julia has been calling you. And now she's gone full bridezilla because she doesn't know how her gown is coming along. What the hell is wrong with you? Where's Leon? Ramona, I lost the baby. That's when Ramona stopped her rambling and took a good look at me, realizing that my belly looked much smaller than before. She paused as if she was thinking about what to say, and then she started going off again. Of course you lost the baby. You can't do anything right. Excuse me? You heard me. You're like a reverse Midas. Everything you touch turns to crap. Of course you couldn't keep a baby. You just insist on embarrassing this family. That's what you want, isn't it? To embarrass us, huh? I started crying, and that's when Leon came down the stairs. What's going on, babe? Why are you crying? Oh, Mom, what are you doing here? Why didn't you tell me that this wench lost the baby? Don't you dare talk about her like that. Leon, you want to bring shame to this family? Isn't it bad enough that she got pregnant without a ring and now she's lost the damn baby? Can this lady do anything right? Please, choose someone else. It's not too late. Leon started yelling in Polish and she yelled back. Leon's usually calm demeanor changed into a full-blown rage. I had never seen him that pissed before. The tension was crazy, and I sensed that he must have been telling Ramona to get out because she was now heading for the door. As Ramona left, she said some hurtful words, each one cutting deeper than the last. You're a misfortune magnet, Veronica. Now you know this. You can't even keep a baby. How pathetic. Don't bother finishing the dress, and don't bother showing your face at the wedding. Maybe the miscarriage was a good thing because you're a sorry excuse for a mother. Once she was out of sight, the weight of the situation crashed down on me, and I couldn't contain my tears. Leon, ever supportive, held me close. He was reassuring me and telling me not to listen to her words. But how could you not listen to such awful words like that? She was horrible. Ramona didn't care for me, like at all. The hurtful words echoed in my mind. My mother-in-law hated my guts, and I didn't even know what I did to deserve all of her crap. Well, folks, Julia's wedding day breezed past eventually, and as Ramona warned, I kept my distance. What was the point of attending when the rift between us was so deep? After the confrontation with Ramona, I noticed they had both blocked me, a clear message that they wanted nothing to do with me, so I decided to respect their wishes. Leon, ever supportive, was so ready to sever ties with his sister and mother for my sake. It shocked me, and I found it super sweet, but I couldn't bear to be the cause of their family falling apart. I insisted that he maintain a relationship with them because family is important, right? You might have been wondering what I was up to when Leon went off to Julia's wedding. Well, I just stayed indoors, being the Real Housewives of Orange County. After the depression from the miscarriage and the horrible fight with my mother-in-law, I found myself on the couch more and more, just spiraling further into my depression. 5 whole months drifted by, and during that time, I hadn't received a peep from Ramona and Julia. I didn't want to reach out because I was still hurt, of course, but above all, I didn't want to reignite the tension that was between us. I figured that no contact was better than having to stomach any awkwardness between us. I convinced myself that perhaps we would never cross paths again, a thought that offered a strange sense of relief. However, life has a way of throwing unexpected curveballs. After 5 whole months of radio silence, I heard someone knocking like crazy on my door. To my shock, it was Ramona, looking really distressed. She barged in and she muttered to herself something about, "I never thought she'd treat me like this. What is going on? How could she do this to me? After everything I've done for her, that ungrateful dog." "Ramona, stop. You will not come into my house like this. What's happening?" "Oh, Veronica, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for everything that I did to you. Please, you have to help me." "Help you with what?" I don't even know where to begin." "Come, sit. Let me get you some tea. You're shaking like a leaf. I put the kettle on, preparing a cup of tea for Ramona, silently hoping the warmth would soothe the tense air in the room. As she finally settled in, Ramona began telling me a story that almost seemed too wild to be true. Julia, it turns out, had become pregnant shortly after her wedding. The entire household was overjoyed, of course. Must have been nice. However, just 1 month into the pregnancy, tragedy struck. Julia suffered a miscarriage. Hearing that news was so triggering, considering I knew exactly what she was going through, and I felt so bad for Julia. Part of me wished I had reached out even just once, because I'm sure she needed a shoulder to cry on, someone who understood her pain. Ramona, however, took a different stance, of course. She confessed that she couldn't appreciate Julia having a miscarriage. She called her a bad mother and also called her careless. My empathy turned to frustration as Ramona failed to comprehend the complexity of a miscarriage, because we all know that miscarriages aren't anybody's fault for the most part. That's when the whore kicked me out. Okay, you need to stop calling people that. But it's true. I mean, can you imagine? I'm her mother, for Pete's sake. How dare she? Now, Ramona found herself homeless with no place to turn. So, I'm assuming you're here because you need a place to stay? You know, maybe you're not as dense as you look. Listen, if you're gonna continue to insult me, then I suggest you leave. What? You can't do that to me. If you are disturbing my peace, then I absolutely can. Besides, why are you asking me for a place to stay? Why can't you ask your son? Well, you see, the thing is, apparently, even though I told Leon that it would be important to still be in his family's lives, I told both Julia and Ramona that he didn't want anything to do with them at the wedding. Apparently, he still considered her his mother, but he told her that she shouldn't reach out to him for anything. I thought he was just being dramatic, so we didn't pay much mind to him, but when I called him and told him my situation, he laughed and then he hung up. The family drama seemed to be escalating to new heights, definitely better than the crap I see on the Real Housewives of Orange County. Ramona started talking about how she would move all of her things in the house by the end of the week, and I had to put a stop to her madness. I couldn't believe the audacity. Ramona thought she could just assume she had a place in my home, especially after her own son had distanced himself. Can I get my key now? No. What do you mean, no? You said you'd help me. I never said that. I just said I'd hear you out. Okay, but you're going to help me, right? Why on earth would I help you, especially if your own son wants nothing to do with you? Are you crazy? Don't talk to me that way, you cow. You see? It's like you're incapable of saying nice things. How do you expect people to help you if you have such a nasty attitude? You disgust me, Ramona. You made a mistake coming here. I think it's time for you to leave. The reality of her situation seemed to hit her hard. She was taken aback, realizing that her expectations were far from reality. In an attempt to smooth things over, Ramona began backpedaling, claiming she didn't mean the awful things she had said about me, but I wasn't about to let her off the hook that easily. I sternly told her she needed to leave my house before I called the police. Her reaction was nothing short of a tantrum, yelling, crying, cursing, you name it. It was embarrassing to witness, honestly, a grown woman acting that way. Still, I stood my ground, refusing to be manipulated by her emotional outburst. How could you do this to me? I'm your mother-in-law. Exactly, yet you insisted on treating me like crap. Since the day I met you, I've been nothing but kind to you, but you always beat me down. And now, you want me? Now you need me? You're only coming to me because you have nowhere else to go. And even when you're desperate, you are an ugly bitch. Get out of here. You can't do this to me. I have nowhere else to go. I don't care. Get out. You deserve to live on the streets. She started crying even harder, saying I was evil for trying to kick her out of my house. Can you believe the nerve of this woman? Despite her theatrics, I told her that I would also call Leon and let him know what she was doing. She continued crying, accusing me of being heartless for not allowing her to stay with us. The irony of her calling me heartless when she had shown no empathy for Julia's or my miscarriage wasn't lost on me. As the police were on their way, Ramona's complaints grew louder and her rage intensified. "I'm not leaving. You can't make me." "Maybe I can't, but the police can." "What? You call them?" "Yep. While you were crying like a baby, I talked to the operator. They're on their way." She panicked, realizing how screwed she was, and begged me to call them off. Shockingly, she revealed that there were issues with her visa and she was staying in the country illegally. This was news to me, but it was too late. The police were en route, and she continued to resist leaving. "Call them off right now." "No. You're making me feel unsafe in my own home. You need to leave." But they'll look into my records and see that my visa isn't valid, Veronica." "And that's my problem? How?" "Ugh, you're awful." "Right back at you. You think you can come in here and claim this place as yours. Let me tell you, the only place you can claim as your own is the jail cell you'll be rotting in before they ship you back to Poland." When the police arrived, they had to physically remove her from the house as she kicked and screamed, demanding to be let go. The drama attracted some curious neighbors, adding an extra layer of embarrassment to the whole situation. When she was shoved into the cop car, I immediately went back inside and locked the doors, trying to understand what had just happened. It was all so crazy. I immediately called Leon to tell him what happened, and he was left speechless. He promised to rush home to make sure I was okay, and I anxiously waited, still recovering from the shouting and screaming. The chaotic scene left me shaken, questioning how things had gotten to this point. When Leon came back home, he held me, assuring me that everything would be okay. He apologized for not revealing earlier that he had cut off ties with his family, thinking it might have prepared me for this situation. A heads up would have been nice, of course, but I was just glad that the shit show was finally over and that I wouldn't have to worry about Ramona ever again. Curious about whether he would go to the police station, I asked him, but he made it clear that he had no intention of going. I meant it when I said that I wouldn't contact them, babe. They hurt you. Anyone who hurts you has no place in my life. Oh, babe, I love you so much. Thank you for being there for me. Well, folks, that's the end of that, and how I got revenge on my horrible mother-in-law for the crap she was putting me through. After this drama, I'm a firm believer in karma. I think that life treats you exactly how you treat other people. And if that is true, then it means that this is only the beginning of Ramona's downfall. I've recently learned that Ramona is still in jail, awaiting trial. The police discovered her illegal stay in the country, and they're planning to formally charge and fine her. Apparently, there's even talk of deportation back to Poland. It feels good to know that those two are no longer part of my life, especially Ramona. Good riddance.